Good morning, crafters. Happy holidays. Today it is December 11th, but as you all know, I'm a day behind on our 12 Days of Christmas YouTube Hop. So this project is day 10. And so as we know, I was making the little Christmas ornaments that were made with the sand dollars. And so I decided to create boxes to hold them in instead of purchasing a dozen boxes over at the Dollar Tree, because as you know, I'm already late. Everything's been hand picked through. So all the cute little boxes are going to be gone. And I thought, why not match my happy little cute gnome ornaments with this adorable Kringle paper as well. So this box is about 3¼ inches wide and 4 1/8 by 4 1/8. Or actually, the bottom is actually 4 by 4. The lid is 4 1/8 by 4 1/8. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started in just a minute. But let's go through some of the things you're going to need. You're going to need some 2 sheets of 8.5 by 11 solid colored cardstock. And I'm going to use red. Hopefully you all will be able to see easier than me using white or black. So I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Also, to decorate, you're going to need some ribbon. I use the Make It Merry Merry Christmas ribbon. I'm sure they still have some of this. I'm using a tag die. I don't even know. This is just a generic tag die, honestly. And then, I don't know. I call these little fluff balls. I don't know. Snowballs. You can call them whatever you want. You'll need some baker's twine. And also, you're going to need your adhesive. Obviously, some scissors. And your paper cutter and scoreboard. And also your bone folder. And then you're ready to go. So, let's go ahead and get started. So to create our lid for our little gift box, you're going to need a sheet of solid colored cardstock, at least 80 pounds. That's going to be 6 5/8 by 6 5/8. Okay, easy peasy. So your first score line is going to be at 5/8. Okay, 1 1/4. 5 3/8 and 6. Okay, and you're going to turn your paper counterclockwise one time, and you're going to repeat those same measurements. So you're going to do 5/8, 1 1/4, 5 3/8. And 6. Okay. Now let me grab my little mat here, and then I'm going to be right back, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to shade this in what I want you to cut out. Okay. Okay, guys. So forgive my little drawing here, but so basically you have your 2 score lines going all the way around, creating a square. Okay. So what I want you to do is you're going to, on one side, you're going to go ahead and cut up the 2 squares, right? Because basically what I want you to do is cut out that little seam, okay? Because you don't want that in the way of you closing your box, okay? So it looks like a little strip like that. And I'm going to do the same exact thing on the opposite side. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and cut all the ones that I need to cut out now. Okay, turn it back to the other side. So I never go past my second score line, okay? And just trim all those off. So now it's going to look something like this, okay? Now I'm going to turn it back over, and then I'm going to cut off what I call this little staircase. So as you can see, it's just 1, 2, 3 little squares. So I'm going to go ahead and cut those off. And don't forget, make sure you cut out that score line. You don't want that in there, okay? Normally I would just leave it as is, but because I made a little mark, I'm going to cut off my little drawing here, okay? I don't want that to show through at all. So I'm going to make sure I do that real quick. Okay, that looks good enough to me. So I'm going to get rid of my trash here. Then now I'm going to get out my bone folder, and I'm going to go ahead and fold on all these score lines, okay, just to get it ready. It really helps out because then it's less work for me to do in the end, okay. So I'm just going to get all of those ready. Okay, looks good. So now I'm going to grab my glue and I'm going to turn it this way because I want my flaps to be facing up towards me, okay? So I'm going to start off on this side and I'm going to go ahead and apply my glue on the large flap here all the way down and then just on the inside of this flap, okay? I'm going to turn this inwards, and at the same time I'm kind of holding it into place, and then I'm making sure you want to push this in a little bit. Don't go too hard or you're going to crush your box. Okay, and now I can burnish it in. I'm going to turn to the other side and I'm going to do the same thing, but I like to get those out of my way, so I'm going to go ahead and fold those over. Again, I'm going to get my box prepared with the glue. Now, if you live in a humid place, you'll want to use glue and not tape because your box will come apart. Okay. So all my coastal and lake people, you know what I'm talking about. And anyone that lives by a river. Okay. And then now I can just go ahead and glue the other flaps in. Okay, now in just a second, we're going to work on the bottom half. For the bottom of your box, you're going to need another sheet of solid colored cardstock that's going to be 7 inches by 7 inches. Again, you want it that same weight, approximately 80 pounds. So we're going to go ahead and start on the first side. We're going to score at 3/4 inch, at 1 1/2, 5 1/2, and 6 1/4. You're going to turn it counterclockwise one time and you're going to repeat those same measurements. You're going to score at 3/4 inch, 1 1/2, 5 1/2, and 6 1/4. Again, we're going to follow the same instructions as we did the last time. We're going to cut out what I call our stairs. But first, I do want to go ahead and cut out that little seam line first. So I'm just going to cut through the first 2 score lines. I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to do the same thing. And then again, go ahead and cut all of those little pieces off. The pattern paper for the top of your lid, you're going to need 2 at 4x4 and then 8 at a 1/2 inch by 4 inches. And then you'll just go ahead and glue them on, and I'll show you that right now. For the bottom of your box, your pattern paper is going to be 2 at 3 7/8 by 3 7/8 and 8 at 3 7/8 by 5/8 inches. Okay, so it's really easy to do, guys. So we're just going to go ahead and glue these in now. For my tag for my little box here, I just got another scrap piece of paper and used my die cut to go ahead and cut the die. And also I did it on a piece of red solid color cardstock so I'd have something to write on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these back to back. And forgive the glue all over my fingers. Such is the life of a crafter. And I went ahead and used my We Are Memory Keepers hole punch to make the hole punch bigger because this die, it was really super tiny and my twine here is quite thick. So I'm just going to cut off a little piece here and I'm going to thread this through. Now I'm going to grab my box, but before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and put my ornament in there and I'll be right back. Okay, so for this part, you're going to need a ribbon that's about 20.5 inches long. And that's if you don't want to make a bow. If you want to make a bow, you can make it longer, but I kind of figured out with this ribbon, 20.5 inches seemed to be perfect. And so I'm just going to grab my box. This is the top. I'm going to lay this over the top, flip it over, and I'm going to align these. Cross them over, and then I'm going to center this a little bit, tuck this underneath, and for a second there I'm going to move that out of my way. So I'm going to approximately center this, grab my glue gun, make a little dot, nothing too spectacular. And I'm going to lay this across the top and then push it underneath. And there you go. Take off any extra strings. And now I have my little Merry Christmas on my box. So at this point, I went ahead and put my name on my little thing here. And I really want this up a little bit, so I'm probably going to tie my knot pretty close. And now I can trim it. Thank you for joining in on day 10 of the 12 Days of Christmas YouTube Hop. And don't forget to check out all the links down below for the other ones who are also participating in our 12 Days of Christmas YouTube Hop. Hope you all have a wonderful day, guys. Bye, y'all. Don't forget,